If you're like most salon owners, you started out doing absolutely everything yourself, right? Booking clients, performing services on clients, managing staff, ordering inventory, handling the finances, cleaning bathrooms, dealing with plumbing, and also somewhere on the way trying to figure out digital marketing. If you have ever wondered whether it's too much and you're starting to get to your wits' end and feeling burnt out, you are not alone, and this episode is for you. Welcome to the Salon Scoop, the podcast that helps salon owners and salon professionals grow their business, boost their brand, and stay inspired. From salon marketing and social media to leadership and growth, we uncover the strategies and stories that move the industry forward. If you love learning, growing, and are serious about leveling up your salon business and brand, you've just found your new go-to podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Salon Scoop. Today, we're touching upon a touchy subject, and that is when we just take on too much ourselves and the impact that can have, and maybe when we need to look at it and look for outside help. Sarah Perrin with me as always. As a salon owner yourself, what was it like for you in the early stages when you first became a salon owner and the first maybe a couple of years? I know you had your sister, you at least had a business partner, but what was that all looking like for you guys?
Yeah, well, again, I'm so lucky that I have a business partner because I have tons of friends in the industry who are, doing this all by themselves. So luckily, my sister / business partner is definitely more of the numbers one, whereas I was always more of like the creative and the marketing one. But yeah, it's a lot. I think it was sometime last year I did a burnout episode that kind of talked about how, like as a salon owner, you're taking on literally every role within your business. And I kind of made the comparison to like if you had a restaurant. Nobody who owns a restaurant is the main chef kind of thing, ordering all of the groceries and having to go pick them up, making the menu, cooking the meals, taking out the dishes to the people, taking their payment, then taking the dishes back into the back and washing them. I'm like, it's just too much, right? And when you're spreading yourself so thin, you're actually not really doing anything that well, right? And at the beginning, obviously, that's just a sacrifice you have to make because the funds aren't necessarily there to hire out for these types of things. But the goal is eventually to, again, to use the food analogy, is to bring what you're good at to the table and hire in takeout or order in takeout for the rest, right? So I think especially when it comes to digital marketing, this is something that a lot of salon professionals don't maybe have the natural skill or ability or even the interest in wanting to do. And as somebody who has always loved this type of thing, like from a very young age, I love designing and doing these things, and it does come relatively naturally to me. It's still a huge job, and especially when you are also, doing the books and managing your staff and taking on clients, it does become something that ends up having to be done, on evenings and weekends and whatnot. And it's an easy thing that will fall to the bottom of the to-do list. So that's why I think this is important to talk about, because as time goes on and digital marketing is becoming such an important part of building and maintaining, clients and everything like that, it's a very necessary aspect to your salon business, but as I said, it often does fall on the back burner because we are all trying to do it ourselves. So yeah, I think that this episode is important to talk about when to say when to hire somebody out. Even though it can be difficult, it can be a really worthwhile investment if you're at that point in your business.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, Sarah, because marketing in today's world is like a full-time job. I would say that, inventory management hasn't really evolved, over the last, 10, 20, 30 years. Accounting, requirements hasn't really evolved. It's not like it's more, but marketing has evolved big time, right? Digital marketing, the advancements, there's just so many more things that if you really want to be managing your business well, you need to be on top of. So the demands have become more and more and more, and there's more platforms, there's more things to be, thinking about. And it's easy to just fall further and further behind when you're trying to, juggle it all yourself. So today we're really going to try to delve into, what are some of the signs that it's maybe too much for you, so to help guide you. And really the ultimate goal is to help you find some sanity and peace of mind, so you can be focusing your energy on the things in your business that are going to provide the greatest impact for you. So Sarah, I'm going to flip it back to you. If you can maybe talk to us a little bit about some of the signs that you're, maybe spending too much time on marketing when it comes to social media specifically.
Yeah, for sure. So, social media, again, like you said, it has been a rapid revolution even within the last couple of years. 5 years ago, you could every single day post just a picture of hair. It didn't have to be in perfect lighting. It didn't have to be anything. It could be an awkward angle, and people loved it. Like, it was fine, right? Now it's like you almost have to have these like photo shoot editorial versions of photos put out with the perfect caption, not a caption that's just like, oh, look at this pretty blonde I did, but something that's educational, or something that people are learning from. And again, the angles have to be right. The location tag has to be there. All of these other accounts need to be tagged. Like, it's a lot just for
And
one
video
single.
editing, right? It's all about video now.
And now it's about video. And then carousels are kind of like coming back too, right? So instead of having one singular post, it's like you need to have this like seven, page post. So it is a lot. So when you start to find that this is becoming inconsistent or forced to do your social media, which a lot of times it is. I find, again, even for my own page, like, I'm so busy with everything else, it is easier just to repost a hair picture that one of my team members did instead of me diving deeper and, doing these informational carousels or making these funny reels or whatever it might be. So as soon as you're starting to find that, like, it's Tuesday morning, you're like, I haven't posted since 2 weeks ago, and that was just because I was on a roll and I just happened to see something, and it's feeling forced. And it's one of those things that's just giving you kind of that, everyone knows this feeling, like some things come easily and you're like, okay, I can do that, it's not a big deal. But that thing that just gives you pause, and for some reason you are so opposed to do it, that's when you should know that, like, social media marketing in particular is maybe something that you can hire out for. And it doesn't even necessarily mean that you have to, hire a full blown, marketing company or something like that, although there are lots of options out there that are reasonably priced. But it could be a matter of delegating it to some of your team instead of that burden always falling on you, right? So again, as soon as you feel that, this is inconsistent, this feels forced, I would start looking into either delegating to a team member or hiring out.
Totally makes sense. Next category we're going to look at is your website, and a clear-cut sign that you are not spending enough time on your website is if your website is outdated and if you're not getting actual bookings coming from it, right? Websites are set up to be conversion machines for you, but too often they get built and then they're just set up and forgotten. And then over time they become outdated. They're no longer fresh and modern. They're maybe slow, difficult to navigate. So if your website is not reflecting, your brand, if it doesn't have clear actions for, bookings, if it isn't really, easy to navigate, especially on mobile devices, it could be costing you bookings. It's one of these like invisible costs that it's an opportunity cost because you're missing the potential of having a powerful website. In today's day and age, a professional website for your salon ensures that your website supports your business and ties in with all of your marketing strategy and turns visitors into actual clients instead of it just being a stale billboard. So that's a clear-cut sign that you might need help and support with your website going forward.
So another thing that is very telling if you feel like you need to maybe hire out for this type of service is if you're not showing up on Google like you should or want to be. So we have talked about SEO to death, but even being somebody who works with Salon S.O.S. and has a little bit more of, intel, I suppose, on this. SEO still confuses the shit out of me. It is a very complicated thing that, again, I can kind of understand the bare bone basics of it, but I think that this one is a service specifically that is super beneficial for salon owners to hire out for. And I'm not biased, but Salon S.O.S in particular has like a super easy, affordable solution for this that is excellent so that they can break everything down and you can just adjust accordingly. So we talked about this in a previous episode about doing an SEO audit, but definitely make sure that you're looking and seeing where you come up on Google searches, local Google searches in your specific area, but just to see if you are, cracking that first page or even the top few searches. Because if you're not, you could be missing out huge on, potential clients and everything like that. So doing that audit of your SEO and your Google business profile and everything like that. And if it does feel like it's just kind of above your head, definitely look into hiring out for it, because it is really complicated and it can be a difficult thing to wrap your mind around.
All right, another sign that you might be spending, or might be time for you to kind of move on because you're not keeping up with your marketing is with regards to your loyalty program and not using it to its full potential. I would say more than 80% of the salons that I speak to that have a loyalty points program in place are not actually doing anything with it. It's not really being communicated. It's just there. And, clients are earning points, and whether they're aware of it or not is often, up for debate. But the salon is definitely not using it as a powerful tool, right, to increase and grow sales. That's what loyalty programs are for. They are a tool to stimulate, right, your consumer, to get them excited about points. And in doing so, they end up purchasing more because they're focused on the points and the rewards. That's what all successful loyalty programs in other industries are doing. So if you're not taking advantage of the opportunity to, number one, just communicate like fully to make your clients aware of their point status, but then using features like, messaging and offering special offers and incorporating your loyalty program and points into your, promotional structure, then you're missing out on those opportunities, and not using it to its full potential, again, means that you are losing out and falling behind because you're trying to manage it all, but you just don't have time to do it properly. And as a result, if we look at your overall, the last thing that I would touch upon here is if you don't have a clear strategy that integrates all of these elements, social media, your website, your Google, your loyalty program, then it's not being done effectively. And by trying to manage it all yourself, you're ending up getting little or no return from all that time that you're trying to put into it. And that is a clear-cut sign that you might be way better off to bring in some support, some expertise to handle this. In an ideal world, a marketing strategy is going to create consistency for your message around every single touch point. That means that if you have a promotion running in your salon, you want to have in-salon signage that supports that message. You want to have social media support with the exact same design and message that's hitting. You want that to also be on your website, same design, branding, messaging. You want that to be incorporated into your loyalty program so that people are earning points, when they purchase that promotion. You want that to be featured on your Google business profile, right? You can actually be putting posts on your Google business profile. You want to be sending out a newsletter, right? Or text messages to your customers that are announcing this particular promotion with similar branding and communication. All those touch points are important to have a clear marketing strategy. You might want to have a blog article on your website. There's so many things that can go into really exploding your message and maximizing your opportunity for reach and ultimately for converting into sales. And if you're not doing those things, you don't have a clear strategy that incorporates these things, that means that it's time for you to be looking for support in those areas. Otherwise, it's so easy to feel burnt out. And Sarah, you talked about your burnout episode. And for those who have not, who have maybe felt like they're overwhelmed and maybe close to burnt out or have had it, I would highly encourage you to go back and listen to that solo episode that Sarah did last year about burnout. There's a lot of really insightful comments and experiences that Sarah shares from deep personal experience, and things I think that you can learn from to help you through that experience. Sarah, let you kind of close out on that.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, even listening to you talk about all of the different marketing avenues that you should take if there's a promotion or whatever, I was like, I'm sure other people listening felt the exact same way. Like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed just listening to that and thinking about how every single, promotion or thing that has gone out in my salon, I'm like, I haven't touched on, 8 of those things. It's like you put out a social media post and you're like, that's good enough to go. But yeah, I think that that's again a big blaring sign that maybe you do need to hire out additional people to be helping you with this is when you are feeling that burnout. And again, it's funny because this is something that I enjoy doing. I love digital marketing. I do it for Salon S.O.S. I help other types of industries with their digital marketing. But with my own salon, I definitely do find that it is something that I am struggling with to keep up with all the time. And yeah, so I think just that level of burnout is super important to recognize. And even at the very least, if you're getting somebody to set up the bare bones of things and then you can maintain it or whatever it might be, just asking somebody for a hand or Salon SOS to, again, get things set up, I feel like that's a really good, solid first step. And the last thing I want to talk about that I did talk about in the burnout episode is if you're trying to decide if something is a worthwhile investment for your company, I would say to assign yourself an hourly dollar amount. So whether that's $50 an hour, $100 an hour, whatever it might be. And then look at how much time you are spending on something. So let's say, for example, social media, let's say I give myself $100 an hour value and social media is taking me 12 hours, a month or whatever. That's $1,200 that I'm spending of my own time. If I can hire somebody else out or delegate it to a team member and be paying them, $20 an hour, whatever it might be, that's a very worthwhile investment because I'm still spending a quarter of what I would be technically paying myself to do that. And I'm still getting the same result. So that's always just an equation / formula I like to use if I'm ever trying to justify or decide if something is a worthwhile investment, is just look at how much time you are spending on doing it and could you be using that time to grow your business in a different way.
Love that. What does outsourcing digital marketing look like for you and your business, Sarah? Like what has that brought to you for the things that you have outsourced over the years?
Yeah, so I definitely, again, it's funny because I have a partner and we do definitely have different strengths and weaknesses. Marketing has been something that I have kind of taken on fully, whereas, the books and the systems and all those different things she's kind of taken on. But there are times, where something comes up, like for example, my sister was just off for almost 2 months because of, health reasons. So I was having to take over all of that back end stuff. So you definitely have to have at least a basic knowledge of every area of your business. But we both have kind of realized the things that are our strengths and our, kind of fallbacks. And we have hired out things that both of us just like can't wrap our heads around or we're spending way too much time. So bookkeeping is a big one. When we initially started up our business, I had a friend who is a graphic designer. He, kind of set up the bare bones of our website and our branding and everything like that. We've also hired out for different things, like again, like different salon maintenance types of things, which we probably could do ourselves, but it's just easier to, again, pay the dollar and be able to go home at the end of the night instead of having to come in on the weekend and paint a cabinet or whatever it might be. Another thing that we've really tried to hone in on, not only because it helps us, but also I feel like instills just like a level of confidence in our team, is delegating specific tasks to our team. So again, it's hard sometimes to kind of let go of that control when it comes to things like inventory or payroll or orders or whatever it might be. But if you can spend the initial time to kind of train them and then pay them to do these tasks, it just helps to take one thing off of your plate at a time until all of a sudden you've got a plate that you can actually carry and add more things onto. And again, the cycle continues. Once you get overwhelmed, then start delegating or hiring out. So Again, I would say a big thing to just keep in mind is it doesn't always mean that you have to outsource through a third party company. This could be something that you can hire within your team to help with, depending on what the task is. But yeah, don't let yourself get to the point of burnout is what I'm trying to get to, because yeah, once you're at that point, you're not helpful, you're not. And again, if you're trying to do 1 million things and you're only doing 3 of those things somewhat well, what's the point?
Yeah. And I mean, the main message that I would leave everyone with is that outsourcing does not mean that you are failing. In fact, it's the opposite. It's a growth decision that you're making. Don't look at it as like I know when we first start out, we're used to doing everything ourselves. You know, when I started this company, it was just me and I was, doing everything, but eventually you kind of grow. So it's not like you can't handle it. It's actually a sign that your salon, your business is growing, and that's a good thing. And when we talk specifically about marketing, digital marketing and becoming more complex, having expert support really helps you to scale and to take advantage of the amazing opportunities without burning out by trying to do everything yourself and trying to learn everything yourself. You don't own a salon because you're a marketing expert. You own a salon because you understand the craft of hair, of nails, of skin, of client care, and that's your expertise where you want to be focusing your energy. When I started this company, Salon S.O.S, in 2018, I come from the industry. I've been connected to it for over 20 years now, and I genuinely love this industry. And I want to do everything that I possibly can to help salon professionals be more successful. And my area of expertise is not cutting hair, it's not doing nails, it's marketing. That's my background. And so Salon S.O.S exists so that we can be that support for you, right? To help you with the implementation and execution of your marketing, help you with the strategy, help you with all the insights around marketing so that we can grow with that part of the business for you while you focus on what you do best. So if you connected with anything out of today's episode and are feeling overwhelmed and are looking for some support, don't hesitate to reach out to us. It'll be a pleasure to listen, to understand where your pain points are. We will never push and promote something on you that you don't need. You have my personal word that we are here in the most genuine way possible to support you with simple and affordable digital marketing services that can help you grow your business, give you peace of mind so that you can focus on growing your salon through the power that you have and the expertise that you bring to your team and your clients every single day. That's our message for today. We hope that you connected with it. Thank you so much for listening. And feel free to reach out to us through our website, salonsos.ca, email, info@salonsos.ca, social media, comment on the blog, whatever you need, we're here for you. Thank you for being part of our community. Thank you so much for listening to the Salon Scoop podcast. This show is produced by Salon S.O.S, a digital marketing agency by industry professionals for industry professionals. If you want simple and affordable solutions for any of your salon marketing needs, such as websites, client loyalty, Google search rankings, social media, or more, come visit us at salonsos.ca or on Instagram at salon.s.o.s. If you want to hear more episodes like this and help us continue to bring the industry great content, it would mean so much to us if you would support us in one of the following ways. Either share this episode with one other industry professional and rate the show on Spotify or write us a quick review on Apple Music. We want to hear your feedback. If you have follow-up questions or ideas for future episodes, please reach out. DM us on Instagram at salonus.s.o.s or hit us up on our website again at salonsos.ca. Again, thanks so much for listening. Now go get your hustle on, keep smiling, and we'll catch you on our next episode.